We are going to be looking at the top 5 free agents the Detroit Lions signed this offseason, according to Pro Football Focus. Okay, so in the past, we've done multiple videos on the Detroit Lions free agents that they signed. I've ranked them. You guys have probably ranked them. But I don't think we've ever looked at them specifically on their Pro Football Focus grade. Like, we've looked at stats, we've looked at numbers. But we've never specifically looked at what this Pro Football Focus grade each one of these players, and then taking the highest grade, who are the top 5 players that the Detroit Lions signed this offseason. You guys probably won't be too surprised with this list, or actually a lot of players that I would have thought been on here, but the order's a little bit mixed up. So let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, we have Jesse James, our new tight end, with a 65.7 Pro Football Focus grade, which I believe is in like the good category, or maybe average, but it's it's a little above average. I think it's like the above average or average type of category. Solid for Jesse James. He hasn't had some huge numbers. He hasn't had crazy production with the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I can understand why his grade isn't super high, but this guy has a lot of potential being a very young tight end. I always have to bring this up. This dude is 6'7", so I literally don't know how people are going to guard him. Like, usually most teams defensively don't have a single player that tall. So Jesse James is definitely going to be a mismatch. It's all a matter of just him catching the ball and Matthew Stafford putting him in the spot where he can, and I definitely see that happen, especially near the goal line. So Jesse James, I believe that grade can definitely go up for 2019. Next up on this list with a 66.3 grade, we have Danny Amendola. So you may have not even expected Danny Amendola to be on here because statistically doesn't have a lot of great numbers, but he has been a security blanket with the Dolphins and with the New England Patriots. And I think in New England is where a lot of people like to remember him. Like, it's kind of hard to remember anything that he did with the Dolphins. Like, oh, he was with the Dolphins. Oh, I remember when he was with the Patriots because they were winning there. But I just remember him as a Patriot and with Tom Brady, and he was a really good wide receiver for Tom Brady. He's no Julian Edelman, but he was a really good, accountable wide receiver. So he comes in at 4th. Next up, coming in at number 3, to start the top 3, we have Justin Coleman with a 67.3 grade. Justin Coleman, our new slot corner. That's really why the high grade is here. As a slot corner, he has been outstanding. Otherwise, he hasn't been so great in his career. We've done a breakdown. I don't know if it's on this channel or my old channel. But either way, we did a breakdown on Justin Coleman showing that he's not a great outside corner, but in the slot, he has been magnificent. So Justin Coleman gets a 67.3 grade. Very good for Justin Coleman. And he's finally going to get a very big paycheck. So hopefully he can live up to that. Now, coming in at number 2, maybe a little bit of a surprise to you, and this is CJ Anderson. Okay, so CJ Anderson with a 72.1 grade. I was surprised, honestly. I was kind of shocked to see CJ Anderson and get this kind of grade. This guy wasn't even a starter for the Rams, but he's getting a very good grade here. He was the backup to Todd Gurley, came on near the end of the season for the Rams last year, but he played very well. You know, he filled his role. He didn't do anything that wasn't asked of him, but he played very well as a backup running back, one of the best backup running backs in the league, and that's why I'm really glad that we got him. It should be a nice little 1-2 punch. You know, mix it up, because this is kind of what we brought LeGarrette Blount into be. Like, he has that same kind of play style. The problem is Blount was just kind of too old. Like, he lost his step. You could tell Blount wasn't the same player. And at the same time, we weren't very great at blocking last season either, so it was kind of tough for him to get. You know, the problem with Blount was he really couldn't get to the offensive line. It was like, by the time he was there, he was getting brought down because he wasn't quick enough, and our offensive line struggled to get that immediate push. So hopefully CJ Anderson can do that a lot better. I believe he will. And now, coming in at number 1, you may have expected this, but when you hear his grade, you will be shocked. Coming in at number 1 with an 89.7, that's nearly a 90 Pro Football Focus grade, we have Trey Flowers. Okay, not surprising that Trey Flowers here. We gave this man $90+ million, 5 years. But the fact is, his Pro Football Focus grade is outstanding, and I've looked at some crazy stats with this guy. Now, I'm going to have to try to remember some of these off my head. But basically, his production compared to Devon Kennard and Romeo Okwara combined, compared to his production, his is actually a little bit better in some categories. Now, I got that from my buddies on Instagram. We will actually be doing a podcast, so I guess that's, I should kind of throw that out there. At some point, I'll let you guys know more information when that comes around, but we will be doing a podcast at some point. But anyways, I got that information from him, and I thought that was really cool. Now, Trey Flowers is definitely the best free agent we brought in. We're expecting the most out of this guy, so he should have the highest grade, but 89.7 for any player of the league is outstanding. To put that into context, Matthew Stafford was somewhere in the 70s. So just think of it like that. Trey Flowers had an outstanding grade. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. These are based by Pro Football Focus. These are not my opinion. These are the Pro Football Focus grade from last season coming into this season. Anyways, let me hear your guys' list of what you think the top 5 free agents the Detroit Lions brought in this offseason. Anyways, thank you, Pride, for watching, and I'm out.